Are you making any significant changes to your training routine during the off season? Yeah, man, your style of training changes when you're trying to put on that much mass, man. You know, and during the rest of the time, we always train high intensely. So you kind of still keep that intensity there, but you know, we do a lot of things like supersets and stuff like that, and drop sets and everything else. When the off season, you're trying to put on mass, your training is more of just going heavy and doing heavy lifts. Those are one of the things that help build building blocks. Doesn't mean that it's not intense. It just means you're focusing on a lot more poundage to move to put on that kind of muscle. Hey Samson, what's the point of you doing so many supersets? Why don't you give it a try and find out? Whatever happened to Mr. Olympia being in different countries from time to time? I don't think anybody with credible source ever said that's ever going to happen. You need to really check where you get what your source is from, man. Nowhere officially did they ever say that we're going to have to do a move the Mr. Olympia from different countries. I think all the sources that they like to speculate, they push that narrative. So yeah, that was never said. Any plans on copying another SUV? You'd look good in a Range Rover. Dude, I got two 4x4s. What do I need another one for? I got an X7 and a Range and a Ford Ranger. Don't need an SUV. And Range Rovers suck. They break down every freaking time. So no, and in the UK, they're everywhere. But yeah, we know the problems with them. A great inspiration, champ. Just wondering, what F1 race are you taking Mel to next year? Man, I really need to go to one, man. I've never been to one live, and I tried to catch one this year, but with everything, how busy we were this year, I couldn't do it. But next year, I am definitely going to one, and I know Mel ain't big in the car, but she would come for this one, so we're definitely going to one. Worst case scenario, if we can't travel overseas, we'll do Silverstone here in the UK. If not, it'll probably be Monaco or damn. Man, there's so many I want to go to. I would definitely pick one. Best training tip for working on unbalance: add reps, sets, week to week, side, or keep even. If you talk about like unbalanced muscle or muscle group that's not growing as much as the other one, the best tip I can say is it's not necessarily adding more to one side. It's basically you got to work on my muscle connection on that side, because if you're doing a bench and your right arm is putting a lot more tension into that than your left, you tend to want to slow it down and then try to concentrate on using the unbalanced side to put more tension in it. Because most of the time when you have things like that, it's because the mind muscle connection to one side is just weaker than the other. So it takes a lot of concentration and work to sort of get it going again. What's the biggest cheat meal you've ever put down? I'm not really ever kept track of that. I'm not really a bigger eater, man. People think that because you're a big guy, it means that you are a big eater. No, I don't even have a great appetite. I'm just practicing how to eat food consistently over and over. And that's something I came to practice. In terms of having like a big appetite to go eat some big, off cheat meal, it's just not me. I'm not that big a appetite guy. I just practice on how to actually eat food very frequently, even when I don't feel hungry. That's why I'm able to get so big. Did you already hit 160 kg? If I hit that quickly, it wouldn't be nothing but water and fat. No, I'm nowhere near that yet. I think I'm still sitting about 153 or something like that. We didn't check it since we got back from Spain. Well, I got my new scale, I just haven't checked it on there yet. But basically, we know that you want to put on decent weight, you have to do it slowly and gradually. Now we're going to December. I'm just literally having my time off, off all supplements and everything else, and just focusing on eating and training, and just trying to let the body stabilize itself down, reduce, so you don't get so much water and so much just that bloat that comes with it. So the whole month of December, we slow things down, and then January we start the off season, and then we carry on from there. But hitting that weight will happen, but you have to do it slowly. So Orlando, man, we all know Max is the better driver, but Max is the best driver in the world, man. We all know that. But Orlando is a McLaren boy and he's here from the UK, so I gotta support Orlando. You know what I mean? You started your fitness journey and your first gym membership. I wouldn't call it a fitness journey, man. When I started going to the gym, nobody says your fitness journey. People just like, I'm gonna go to the gym because I want to look fit and get girls. That was it. I mean, yeah, we don't call that. That was back in 2009, and I think my first gym membership was at a school gym, and I don't think like you just get free pass, because I think it was quite cheap, because after the school closed, the gym became open to the public, but only selected numbers were there, and I think because it was cheap as hell, that's why I got it. I think it was like £5 at the time, which is like less than like $8 or something like that. So yeah, that was it. How do you support digestion, intestine, and stomach? Just eat better food, man. Just eat better food. Look, You gotta stop. People need to stop trying to take stuff. You guys like taking things too much. Look, you have to sort out the problem, not just fix the problem that comes from that. You have to go back to the basics, go back to the source of it. Like, if you're eating decent food, decent quality food, you won't have digestion problems. So you have to kind of go back from there before you try to find something to take to support that. How long have you rest between sets? Or how long do you rest in between sets? Max about 2 minutes. It's just kind of like I come off a set and I wait for my heart rate to just slow down. And immediately it slows down a little bit and I catch my breath. I do the next set. Why you don't flat bench? Because I'm not gonna risk injury by doing something that I no longer need. Most of the time, you gotta understand, most of the guys, when people have weak chests, they don't have weak chests because the bottom half of their chest is weak. They have big chest because their upper half is weak. So when you focus on actual movement and where it is and where it feels more comfortable and where you want to put tension on, you always find that just being slightly inclined will always be a lot better than you trying to flat bench and pull your shoulder off. So you always notice when people mostly have surgery injury from benching is when they flat benching. You structure your meals on certain training days. My meals does not change from training days to off days to whatever I'm training. They stay the same and consistent throughout. That's one thing you gotta understand. Like it's always the same meals. Yeah, they're going up in portion based on what I wanted to do, or by week as I'm getting bigger. But in terms of changing them based on training days, no, I don't mess around trying to do any of that. You just making things more complicated than it needs to be. My meals are always consistent, and they're always in that same pattern every single time. I'm gonna be at the Arnold Sports Festival 2026 in Birmingham, UK. Yes, I'm gonna be there. What do you think is the most important thing to focus on for your first show competition? Your presentation, man. Work along your presentation because that's what you're gonna have to do on stage at the end of the day. So yeah, focus on, work on your presentation and really understand what you have to do when you're on that stage. Technically only had 2 professional coaches. Will you consider hiring someone ever? Yes, man. 100%. If I know there's somebody out there that we definitely click and their style definitely matches something that I can do and they can bring something new to our repertoire, then 100%, yeah, we will do. But, right now, especially in the industry, I don't think there's anybody that I can sort of see that can match that. Been lifting heavier lately. Do you feel stronger now than last season? Of course I do. Remember, something that you guys will understand, the last 2-3 years, I've literally impeded myself from growing. I literally did not push for more size, because more size is what they told me I didn't need or what they wanted to hear. So we didn't push for more size at all the last year. So I didn't have to push that kind of weight to cause growth because they wasn't looking for it. But now that I know that, okay, the game is changing, something I want to do is that. So, the training style changes to match that. And already that's why, you can see me growing so fast. We always knew we had the ability to grow, for me to grow very quickly. We just intentionally stopped that from actually happening. The weight you've gained, are you still doing cardio or are you avoiding it for now? I don't do cardio in off season. Look, the goal is to put on mass. And that's the idea of it, is to put on mass. You can't be putting on mass, or you need the calorie, you need the extra calories to put on to help do that mass. And cardio basically takes away from that. I understand if you put on shitloads of body fat now, that's a different story. But if you're trying to put on real mass, your training intensity really dictates how much muscle you put on instead of body fat. So the more intense your training is, the more muscle you put on, and that keeps the body fat low as well. So it's not just eating as much as you can. There's also intense training that makes sure that you put on muscle and not fat. How you manage your insulin sensitivity when you're eating that much food? Dude, I'm not eating sugar, man. I'm not eating junk. I'm eating food, real food. It's a whole different ballgame when you're actually eating food than when you're eating crap. So yeah, you ain't gotta worry about that. How do you balance heavy training with joint health and longevity? One, obviously we use joint supplements. That helps me out a lot, especially given the size that I am right now. That does really help. And obviously you've seen me work with Jay every Friday using deep massage therapy. That helps a lot. And then when we train, it's about being smart when you train, man. No matter how much you're going heavy, there's always something you have to keep in back of your mind, is the idea of that injury happening to you. And that's why, for some exercises you don't see me do, because I know that those exercises don't benefit me. You never see me freeweight barbell squat. Reason for that, I've had a few nicks and niggles from doing that, so I don't do it. Same thing with a few other exercises. You have to be very smart and pick the ones that you know that you can isolate a muscle very well, even regardless of how heavy you go. that'll put a big toll on your joints. So that's something we've always been smart about. And will you be doing one exercise at a time for now and still doing superset as usual? For the big muscle groups, I'm doing one exercise at a time. The smaller one, I can still superset. So legs, back, chest, one at a time, and for majority of them. And then the smaller ones like arms and shoulders and calves and stuff like that, those ones will still remain superset. Color says he spends 50K a year on food. What do you think you spend a month on food a month? A month, I would say we probably spend about $1,500 a month here, and that's £1,500 a month here. So yeah, but that's pretty much it, and that's probably the height of off season, not prep, because prep is a lot less because you just eat much more less food. So yeah, I'll say roughly about that. Oh, your favorite car, man? There's too many on that list right now, man. I've gone through a lot. And there's a lot I really do like right now that's out. I mean, obviously they keep releasing new cars, and I mean, I think the old school stuff pretty much works a lot better. Like I'll probably say my favorite ones probably like Pagani Zonda or the Wyra. Those were the ones that I think that still has that old school feel, and they're so unique and they keep going up in value. So yeah, that's probably the ones I'll probably pick up.
I got no time for these Hollywood people. I'd rather give time to my fans. You rather chill with these women that like you for money, but I'd rather chill with my fam, yeah.